Not surprised at all. It's who he is. It's who he is. I've always thought that he's a horrible person, and this is every bit of proof.
Baltimore boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend.
Tank is done. Tank is hung him up, shoes off, get the bag, put a plaque up, he done.
Promotion. November 14th, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis has officially been canceled. I know that we all speculated that it would be, and I was pretty much for sure that it would be canceled, but now we have official confirmation.
The boxing world is stunned after Leonard Ellerbe finally spoke out about Gervonta "Tank" Davis's recent arrest and incident that has shaken the sport and officially led to the cancellation of the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight. What was expected to be one of the biggest crossover boxing events of the decade has now been scrapped, as legal troubles once again disrupt Tank's career.
So, Most Valuable Promotions, the promotion co-founded by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian, posted this on social media. They posted that they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, "Our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly," said Nikisa Badarian, CEO of MVP. "While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Kaseya Center, Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel and Casino.
Ellerbe, the longtime promoter and former CEO of Mayweather Promotions, who has worked closely with Gervonta Davis, said the situation has gone too far. He stated that Davis's legal troubles make the Jake Paul fight not just unlikely, but impossible, and warned that Davis's career could now be in serious danger. Reports suggest that Jake Paul's team has officially offered the fight to Ryan Garcia as a replacement for Davis. Multiple sources confirm that Paul's promotion company, Most Valuable Promotions, contacted Garcia following the fallout from Davis's arrest. The proposal reportedly targets a possible December date, though Garcia's promoter has raised concerns about existing contracts that might complicate the negotiations.
It's just wrong. So as of today, November 2nd, this fight is still technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement: Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou, I mean, come on, we'll get into them, and Nate Diaz. So he's already fought Nate Diaz, but let's go through them one by one. I mean, Ryan Garcia, he's a similar size to Gervonta Davis. He's bigger though. Davis made him come down, didn't he? Then he beat him up. So that was Ryan Garcia. Quite a bad loss for Garcia, that was, because he was up for the fight, but Gervonta Davis beat Garcia. Garcia also isn't really big enough to be jumping in with Jake Paul, but that's a fight that potentially could happen. Garcia is a massive name. He's a big he's a social media star. He's a big public figure. Loads of followers on Instagram and social. I mean, his Instagram's over 1 million, I'm sure it is.
Rolando Romero didn't hold back after hearing that the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight was canceled. He slammed the entire card, saying Jake Paul got exposed for chasing attention instead of real competition. Romero even called Jake out directly, claiming he'd slap him around if they ever met in the ring. But he didn't stop there. Romero also took shots at Ryan Garcia, accusing him of backing out of their rematch that's still part of their contract. He called Garcia scared and unreliable, saying fans are sick of talkers and only want fighters who actually show up and fight.
Man, I want to let everybody know I'm going to slap Jake Paul across his face because, first and foremost, man, I'm tired of this YouTube boxing stuff, man. I really am. I am more tired of this YouTube boxing stuff than everyone else, man. Oh, let's make this happen, bro. Bro, I'll be ready in a week. I'll be ready to slap Jake Paul across the face in a week. I will slap Jake Paul across his face. But who cares? I don't care. Roll over Jake Paul 2025, bro. I knocked out another YouTuber. Bro. Jake Paul gets knocked out cold.
Oscar De La Hoya directly shut down the rumors that Ryan Garcia might replace Gervonta Davis to fight Jake Paul. He confirmed that no such talks ever took place and said that if any real negotiations were happening, he would be the one to announce them. De La Hoya made it clear that Ryan Garcia is focused on other goals and that fans shouldn't expect a surprise crossover fight anytime soon. His statement effectively ended the speculation and reminded everyone not to believe every rumor that spreads online.
Asking me about Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia. Let me just tell you why this fight is not going to happen. Ryan Garcia fights for DAZN, and Jake Paul fights on Netflix. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. Golden Boy has a contract with DAZN. Ryan Garcia has a contract with Golden Boy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is business. You know, Ryan Garcia's probably going to rant saying, oh, you're keeping me from making money and this and that and fighting. No. You have to go by the law, by the rules. You have a contract with DAZN. You have a contract with Golden Boy. It just doesn't happen that way. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you Saturday for Virgil Ortiz. But again, Ryan Garcia's next fight will be announced.
Most Valuable Promotions, MVP, officially confirmed that fans who bought tickets through authorized platforms like Ticketmaster will receive automatic refunds within 14 to 21 days. Those who purchase through secondary marketplaces or resale sites are advised to contact their vendors directly, as automatic refunds may not apply. This announcement came as part of MVP's broader statement, addressing the event's cancellation and ensuring fans are properly compensated. Meanwhile, multiple insider reports reveal that Francis Ngannou has now become the leading candidate to replace Jake Paul's canceled opponent. Negotiations are reportedly in progress, setting the stage for what could become one of the most explosive crossover boxing events in
live globally on DAZN. First off, I'll say kudos to MVP for refunding people that did buy tickets to this event and also navigating this thing with professionalism, which they did the entire way through. You got to give them credit for that. They really stayed quiet on the rumor front and just handled things as a professional company. That's all you can really ask for. Jake Paul has, in the last couple of hours, tweeted idiot, and then God has a plan always. Two things that I think are both referring to this fight. First off, calling Gervonta Davis an idiot, I assume, and then obviously, you know, God has a plan always, referring to this thing is probably going to work itself out. Obviously, this video is dedicated to talking about future opponents for Jake and potential fight dates. I do have something that I don't know if it's misinformation or not, but I'm just going to talk about it here. This is a tweet from somebody named ATalkers5. I don't know how realistic this potentially even could be, but this is from 4 hours ago. They said two of the female bouts scheduled for Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis undercard are now scheduled for December 14th on the IBF website.
Francis Ngannou, who shocked the world with his boxing debut against Tyson Fury and later went toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua, remains a major global pay-per-view attraction. Jake Paul's team reportedly viewed Ngannou's knockout power and international fame as the ideal solution to rescue their canceled event. However, Ngannou publicly dismissed the rumors linking him to a fight with Paul, calling the idea a publicity stunt. He made it clear that after sharing the ring with elite heavyweights like Fury, stepping in against a YouTuber-turned-boxer would undermine his credibility. Ngannou addressed the speculation head-on, insisting that fighters must protect the integrity of the sport and not turn combat into a spectacle for clicks. His strong and professional stance earned widespread respect from fans, who agreed that a Paul versus Ngannou matchup would make little sense both competitively and financially.
And he said, yeah, Jake Paul, you know, he's fighting. And I'm like, no, bro, come on. Don't disrespect me like that. And then they even say like, they even come out after and say, and what if the number are good? He sent out some number. I'm like, it's not about the number. If it was about the number, we could have started talk. I would have tell you, I'm not just interested. It make no sense for me. It's not my what I'm looking at right now.
So there is no dollar amount. It's more the opponent. The fight makes no sense. They could offer you $100 million and you wouldn't be interested.
The fight made no sense. That's what I think. That's my my position. And though I went back, I saw,
Placement for Gervonta Davis. We had to go right to the source. What can you tell us? Is there any possibility that Francis Ngannou will step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul?
no, there's no such of thing happening. Basically, like, how can they go from like Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? Like, I mean, Gervonta Davis is a fantastic boxer, but and is a one-shot knockout artist. But come on, like the weight different and everything, it make no sense. The Gervonta Davis, you say, okay, the size different can level up, but at this point, for me to
According to emerging reports online, Jake Paul may now be shifting his focus toward Floyd Mayweather Jr. as a potential replacement following the cancellation of his fight with Gervonta Davis. Multiple outlets claim that Paul's camp has reached out to Mayweather's team to explore the possibility of a blockbuster matchup. However, Mayweather has reportedly dismissed the idea, calling the proposed fight too easy and implying that it doesn't interest him under normal boxing terms. While no formal agreements have been made, the rumors alone have stirred major buzz, adding yet another twist to an already turbulent moment in the boxing world.
And then if you keep going, you see stuff like this going around, and he's not the only one. A possible replacement for Paul being Garcia. I've seen another article that said that they pitched to Mayweather. I seen that one, and some other big names as well. And I'm pretty sure the people behind Paul got the bag because Paul draws the bag. So they can probably, if Floyd Mayweather commit to it, yeah, you get that money together because you know it's coming back in sales. You know it is. How old is Mayweather right now? It don't fucking matter. That bread is coming back. He's just a draw. The biggest, maybe, right? He might literally be the biggest boxing draw of all time, Floyd Mayweather. So I think that if this is true, that the fight is canceled, Jake Paul is going to end up with a significant.
On the Ariel Helwani show, analysts dissected how Gervonta Davis's ongoing legal troubles have seriously damaged his public image and placed his boxing career in jeopardy. A newly filed lawsuit coming just 2 months after a previous case was described as further proof of a troubling pattern of behavior surrounding Davis. Helwani and his panel highlighted how these recurring issues have strained his personal relationships and driven away major sponsors and broadcast partners. Netflix, which had been set to stream the Jake Paul versus Davis fight as its first major boxing event, is now reportedly reconsidering its involvement to avoid being caught in controversy. With Davis's reputation in freefall, Jake Paul faces mounting pressure to secure a new opponent before the entire event collapses.
9:30, 10 or so. Most Valuable Promotions, the promotion co-founded by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian, posted this on social media. They posted that they were officially canceling the fight, saying Most Valuable Promotions immediately initiated an investigation. No, I had the wrong one. Okay, I'm reading this one. Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix have announced that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, the one I was reading was the one from late last week, originally scheduled for Friday, November 14th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, will no longer be moving forward. Quote, our team has worked closely with all parties to navigate this situation responsibly, said Nikisa Badarian, CEO of MVP. While we will not be moving forward with this event, our plan remains for Jake Paul to headline an event on Netflix in 2025. And that is what I'm hearing as well. They want him to fight in December. That is the hope. And they're actively looking for a opponent. More on that in a moment. Details regarding a new date, location, Jake's opponent, and additional bouts will be shared as soon as they are finalized. We thank Netflix, Kaseya Center, Seminole Hard Rock and Hotel and Casino for their partnership. Then there's some information about, fans who purchase tickets. You can see all of this online. I did speak to Nikisa briefly, and I've seen some people say like, hey, and this was his take. Like, I asked him two questions, basically, like, did this have anything to do with the ticket sales? He said this was going to be a very, very successful event for them financially. And the other thing was like, Tank Davis has a checkered past. He had a checkered past when this fight was made. What changed? Well, obviously, 2 incidents, allegations, lawsuit. Since the fight was announced, They at the time felt like this was an opportunity for people to learn about who Tank Davis is, for him to show the world that he was a changed man, all this stuff and more. And that didn't happen, and they felt like they had to cancel the event. For the record, I feel like this was 100% the right call. You can't be a promotion that is so heavily invested in women's boxing and work with a guy who has allegations and lawsuits pending.
Reports suggest that the now vacant November 14th card could feature at least 2 female title fights. Promotional material had previously listed women's world title bouts, including Alicia Baumgartner versus Layla Badwan for the super featherweight belts. While nothing is confirmed, the shift toward women's championship bouts may indicate that the promoters are refocusing the event around female boxing following the cancellation of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Meanwhile, analysts on several boxing shows criticized Jake Paul for harshly attacking Davis over his lawsuit. They noted that Davis's case is civil, not criminal, and no guilt has been proven. Commentators also reminded viewers that Jake has faced similar allegations in the past, calling his moral stance hypocritical. Many argue he is using Davis's legal troubles as a PR tactic to distance himself from controversy rather than taking a genuine ethical stand.
If I thought he did it twice, and we forgave him for that, and you got better, you seek help, and etc., I can, I forgive him for it.
Bruh.
How you know Jake Paul didn't know that?
Jake Paul knew.
Jake Paul 100% knew that.
September 19th, 2017, arrest warrant, first-degree assault. September 14th, 2018, arrested in Washington, D.C. February 1st, 2020, Davis arrested on domestic assault. March 22nd, 2021, indicted on 14 counts allegedly causing a serious crash. December 27th, 2022, days before a fight, arrested and jailed in Florida, domestic battery. July 11th, 25, taken into custody following a battery charge. October 31st, 25, Davis was involved in a civil fight with his girlfriend. Shut up, Jake Paul. Yeah. You knew what you was doing.
He does not get this excuse whatsoever. Also, whenever you look at what Jake Paul has done since coming into the sport of boxing, he has been a champion for women in the sport. He has also been a champion of equal fighter pay and whatnot, right? All of these different things that he's done. He's gone to Dana White directly for trying to abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that helps out fighters get. He's gone to so many different people. He's an extremely knowledgeable person whenever it comes to the sport that he's hyper obsessed with, and turned his career from a Disney star and a YouTuber into a boxer. He knew about these issues already. Correct. He knew that this was a farcical fight in the first place. Yeah. This is a 7-weight class difference in real boxing. No, absolutely not. It should not have been a fight that was happening in the first place. But even then, after all of these things going on right now, Jake Paul to sit there and act as if you are all high and mighty, Correct. And that I don't want to give this dude a platform to earn money. You were more than happy doing it and promoting it for months.
Gervonta Davis's arrest has not only ended one of the most hyped crossover fights in recent memory, but also exposed how fragile, hype-driven boxing events can be. With the Jake Paul versus Davis fight officially canceled, promoters and platforms like Netflix are now scrambling to protect their brands and find replacement opponents. The situation underscores how a fighter's actions can derail even the biggest sporting spectacles. For Jake Paul, the show must go on, but for Davis, this latest arrest could be the most damaging setback of his once promising boxing career.
Sounds like they feel the same way. It's an impossible spot to be in.
The only part I'd say is, like, you kind of know who this guy is ahead of time. Like, this is not exactly a shocking revelation. Like, Tank Davis is this is not the first rodeo, but I do think it's too close to the fight to really be messing around here. Like, you got to figure out a new solution.
And so there's been multiple reports regarding people that they've reached out to. Names like Ryan Garcia have been brought up. Terrence Crawford has been brought up. Francis Ngannou has been brought up. And Francis Ngannou spoke to TMZ today, and he did confirm that he was contacted. And the quote was, "How can they go from Gervonta Davis to Francis Ngannou? It makes no sense." He was like, quote, "We think about you to fight Jake." I'm like, what? Which Jake? Bro, come on, don't disrespect me like that.